Welcome to the game theory. Today we are going to solve a pure game using the principle of dominance. A pure game has a saddle point or an equilibrium point. And in a pure game, each player has one best strategy. And the principle of dominance is based on the phenomenon that in a payoff matrix, certain columns dominate over certain other columns and certain rows dominate over other rows. Now here we have a payoff matrix of player X and player Y. Player X is Optimus Prime and player Y is an alien from the outer space. So we have two players who are totally out of this world. Let the game begin. We are going to solve this game using the principle of dominance. So when we compare column 3 and column 1 of player Y, we find that the elements of column 3 are greater than column 1. Therefore, column 1 dominates column 3. So we cancel out column 3 and retain column 1 of player Y. And the idea is to minimize the loss of player Y while maximizing the gain of player X. After applying the principle of dominance, the matrix is reduced to a 3 by 3 payoff matrix. Now let's find the row minimum. It is -3, 0, and -3. And let's find the column maximum. It is 2, 0, and 4. Now let's revisit the row minimum and ask the proverbial question. Mirror, mirror on the wall, which is the largest number of them all? And the answer is our hero 0. So let's highlight 0 and call this maximin. Now let's do the same with the column max and ask the same question. Mirror, mirror on the wall, which is the least number of them all? And the answer again is 0. So let's demarcate 0 and call this mini-max. Mini-max. We see that maximin is equal to mini-max, which is equal to 0. Therefore, the game has a saddle point or an equilibrium point. Therefore, it is a pure game. Let's go back to the row minimum. When we look at the elements of the row minimum and the column maximum, we find that the elements of the row minimum and column maximum are equal to the diagonal elements. Therefore, the point of intersection of the diagonal elements is the value of the game. So the value of the game is 0, and since the value of the game is 0, it is a fair game, which means the game is not favorable to any of the players. That is, no player gains and no player loses. To summarize, we have solved a pure game using the principle of dominance. We have reduced the 3 by 4 matrix into a 3 by 3 matrix, and the first step is to find the row minimum and the column maximum. And then we find the maximin and the minimax. Since the maximin is equal to minimax, which is equal to 0, the game has a saddle point or an equilibrium point. And since the game has a saddle point, it is a pure game. And the value of the game is the payoff at the saddle point, which is equal to 0. And since the value of the game is 0, it is a fair game, which means it is not favorable to either Optimus Prime or the alien from the outer space. Hope you found the video helpful. Thank you and happy